Hi, everyone. I see a lot of participants are joining now. We're going to allow registrants a few more minutes to get on. Everyone, this will be recorded and shared with you all after today's program. I look forward to sharing some exciting information with you all. So we'll get started in about 2 minutes. It looks like we have about 180 participants in here. Thank you again for joining us. And we will be getting started shortly. Okay, let's get started. Welcome everyone. My name is Terrence Smalls, and I'm a founding board member of the Upcycled Food Association. I also represent one of our member organizations, Gooder, which is a surplus food recovery company. And from an upcycling standpoint, we work to recover surplus food and repurpose it into meal kits for those in need to make sure that we're not adding to this food waste problem that we're looking to develop these creative solutions for. And so I'd like to welcome everyone to our first annual public member meeting. The Upcycled Food Association is excited to talk about the future of the upcycled food industry. And we have some inspiring and informative programming for everyone today. And so with our agenda, you will be hearing a keynote from Chris Davila, Innovation Program Manager from Whole Foods Market, as well as industry insights from Christine Kreveling, Food Program Manager at Propeller. And we will also be hearing from 9 different UFA members providing various updates for us in terms of the work that they are doing in the upcycled food space as well. And so for our first presentation, we have Caroline Cotto from Renewal Mill and Board President of the Upcycled Food Association, as well as Turner Wyatt, CEO of the Upcycled Food Association.
Thanks so much, Terrence. Welcome, everyone. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure of meeting yet, as Terrence said, my name is Caroline, and I'm the co-founder and COO of Renewal Mill. We upcycle the byproducts of plant-based milks into flour as ingredients and baking mixes. And I think it's so great to see all of you here. For those of us who've been in the industry for a number of years, it's especially exciting because we've seen this huge groundswell of interest and support in upcycled food. And it wasn't really until the last 18 months that we've seen this huge excitement in the space, because a lot of folks before this had not even heard the term upcycled maybe ever, or definitely not applied to food. So it's been really cool to see, at least right now we have over 230 of you here. It's one thing to sort of beat your drum on your own, but another to start a movement. So I don't know how many of you have seen the first follower video, but it's a YouTube classic and one of my favorites, of a man dancing alone in a crowded park. He's dancing super crazy, and he slowly gets one person to join him. And then by the end of the video, there are hundreds of people dancing with him in the park. And that's kind of what we've done here. So last October, as you can see on the slide, 10 of us decided to start dancing. And we knew the old adage that rising tides really lift all boats, and we knew that would apply here. So we decided to come together and accelerate the momentum of the upcycled food movement. And what started with 10 companies in a conference room in San Francisco 1 year ago has just ballooned into a global phenomenon. And it's what we're here to celebrate today with all of you. So forgive me for those of you who live and breathe food waste on a daily basis, but for the new folks in the room, we just wanted to restate why upcycling is such an important solution to food waste. So you obviously probably have heard the statistic that globally 30% of all food produced is wasted. And this translates into 20% of the world's fresh water, 25% of the total world's arable land, and 8% of greenhouse gases globally being used to make food that is wasted or lost. And it's estimated that if food waste were its own country, it would be the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases behind only China and the US. And it's for this reason that Project Drawdown has named reducing food waste as the #1 thing that we can do to prevent 2 degrees of global warming in 2020 and beyond. So this is where upcycling comes in. Next slide, Rochelle. With upcycling, we're able to massively improve the efficiency of the food system and make sure that 100% of the food that we produce is ending up on people's plates. And it's not only an environmental imperative that we have to upcycle, but there's definitely an economic imperative as well. So the upcycled food industry was valued in 2019 at $46.7 billion with a CAGR of 5% for the next 10 years. And we're really seeing this huge groundswell of support for the movement because for the first time, upcycled food is really giving consumers the ability to participate in fighting climate change every time they shop directly in their kitchen. And we're seeing some of the biggest players in the space championing this trend, including Whole Foods, who we're going to be hearing from in just a bit. But I'm going to turn things over to Turner, who's going to share a little bit more about the UFA's goals over the past year. And just wanted to end with a huge moment of appreciation. If we thought that building an entirely new category of food was going to be challenging, try building an entirely new category of food during a global pandemic that's completely upended how consumers prioritize and how they shop. And our progress here today is just a testament to the hard work and dedication of many of you in this room. And we're excited to keep building on the foundation that we've set together. And I am so excited for all that's to come in 2021 and beyond. So thank you, Turner, take it away.
Yeah, hi, thanks Caroline, and hi everyone. So nice to be joining you. I want to start with a really relevant story because it's something that just happened to me that perfectly exemplifies the reason that it's so important. So today I'm not calling from my office. I'm calling from a coffee shop that is about 2.5 hours away from where I live. And it's because an hour before the session before this, which is a member-only session for our annual member meeting, started, all of the internet went out in my entire county. All of the cell service went out. Landlines weren't working, and so we drove 2.5 hours away to this coffee shop. And I missed the entire first session. I missed the entire session where I had a speaking role. And as I got back into service, I live in the mountains, so I was like driving through the mountains trying to find service, and finally got service, and it was totally fine. And everything went off without a hitch, and it's because this team that we've built is this diverse, talented team of people that was able to just fill in and make it totally seamless. And I think that shows that what we're building, a diverse community, is resilient. And a resilient ecosystem is one that fills in. When something breaks down, something comes in and fills in. And unfortunately, our food system right now doesn't behave that way. But this community does. Clearly, it does. And so thanks for the people who filled in. And I hope that that's a sign, rest assured, that this community is organized and that we are resilient. and we're building a more sustainable ecosystem that fills in the gaps. So if with that, let's jump into my first slide, Rochelle. And it's hard to believe that just a year ago is when we got started. And our board of directors, which is made up of the people who you see on the line and many others, you can see who our full list of board members is on our website. They handed down 3 major directives for us in the first year. One was to grow membership. The next was to define upcycled food. And finally, it was to create some kind of certification program. And so I'm just going to go through those goals and tell you how we fared in reality. In 2020, the year where we're all so dependent, as I came face to face with technology and so far from each other in reality. So our goal was to reach 75 members, and we're just now over about 125 members. It's like I said, a diverse community is a resilient community. And that's what we've built. It's an extremely diverse group of businesses. They represent 20 different countries, more than 20 different countries, and all stages of development, everything from pre-launch startups all the way to big multinational publicly traded companies like Dole and Barry Callebaut, IFF, Griffith Foods, and everything in between. And in addition to that, it's also diverse in terms of the product offering. We have a lot of CPGs, yes, and ingredient companies, but also technology companies and equipment manufacturers and food scientists and product developers. And again, this is the diversity that builds resilience. This is the kind of movement that fills in all the gaps and allows us to build something that is sustainable. And so we're really happy with our membership growth, and my sincere gratitude to all of our members who have been along for a wild ride this year, and I can't wait to keep growing with you. The next goal was to define upcycled food, and it kind of gives a good indication of where the upcycled food industry was a year ago before this organization was created. And then there wasn't even an official definition. Before the one guy started dancing and getting everyone else to jump in and dance with him, there wasn't even a definition of upcycled food. And you can't fix what you don't define. And so we got together, I should say actually our COO and co-founder, Ben Gray, got this amazing group of people together, NRDC, ReFed, Harvard Law School, Food Law and Policy Clinic, Drexel Food Lab, WWF, and others, and brought together this amazing group and formally, officially defined upcycled food. And you can read the research paper and see the rest of this awesome infographic on our website. And what we found was something kind of that we already knew. Of course, upcycled food helps to prevent food waste. But what this definition did not do is give us a good tool that helps to communicate, yes, that product is an upcycled product. No, that product actually is not. And that level, that standardization is really important because that's what gives this integrity. You have to be able to draw the line somewhere in order to move the industry forward and start making incremental progress. And so we also know that this is a consumer-driven movement. Consumers are really the linchpin of this whole thing. That's what makes upcycled food so interesting and sustainable and scalable. I say this a lot, so excuse me if you've heard me kind of give this little thought experiment. But why is it that when you ask people what the most important solutions to climate change are, they say things like electric cars and plant-based diets and renewable energy? I think, and really the hypothesis of this organization is that people think about those things because there are consumer-based industries based on around those solutions. You can buy solar panels and put them on your house. You can buy Impossible Burgers and Beyond Meat and put it on your and eat it. And there's consumer industries around these solutions, but you can't buy food waste. But you can buy food waste prevention. You can, as a consumer, buy into this really important solution and be a part of the single greatest solution to climate change every time you shop for food, just by choosing to buy an upcycled product instead of a conventional product. And so we wanted to give that tool directly to consumers. And ultimately that means showing consumers what products are certified and what are not. And so we've been working on, again, Benjamin Gray put together this amazing group of world experts, certification and standardization world experts. And they've been working since June to create this upcycled certification standard. And this is actually one way that you can be a part of this movement right now. If you go to our website, you can actually give your comments and your feedback on the draft certification standard right now through December 4th and be a part of perfecting this certification so that it meets your expectations, both as an industry person or a consumer. And so we're really excited about this certification. We did a study this year within our own membership and found that there are already more than 400 upcycled products out there. That's more than we thought. Why is it more than we thought? It's because when you walk through a grocery store, you see all these messages, but you don't see which ones help you prevent food waste, which products help you prevent food waste. And that's exactly what this certification program will do. So we'll educate consumers so that they can be a part of the solution. And what we're envisioning, what we're working towards is the grocery store of the future, in which consumers will be able to fill their entire cart with nothing but upcycled food and upcycled products, baby food, cosmetics, personal care, home care. In the same way that today you can fill your whole cart with nothing but upcycled, or excuse me, nothing but organic products, you will be able to do that. You'll be able to fill your entire cart with the solution to climate change. And so that's kind of where we have been so far. And what's next? What's next for this organization? I just want to check my time here. Where we're going next, we've only been around for 1 year, but like I said, we're organized and we're making some serious progress. Let's see here. And so everything that we do is intended to help us accomplish our mission of preventing food waste by growing the upcycled food economy. We have these 4 main areas, these 4 main objectives that we use to accomplish this mission: improve the upcycled food network, attract financial capital, increase demand, and then improve the supply chain. And so in 2021, some key results that you can expect to see is we're going to be working with investors to show them, hey, look, I know you're investing in all of these other solutions right now if you're an impact investor, but guess what? And we know this from a survey that we did this year. There's more than $30 million that's being fundraised right now from within the Upcycled Food Association membership. So if you're an impact investor or even just a bleak capitalist investor, Upcycled Food is the place where you can put your dollars to work most effectively to make a return and to help address climate change. We're going to be increasing the number of stores that carry upcycled food. And so we're working as hard as we can to make it so that everyone sees a lot more upcycled food in 2021 than you ever have before. We're going to be educating consumers on how they can be part of the solution through the certification program and through some other marketing campaigns, et cetera. We're going to be certifying products, growing our membership. If we grew it 1 to 125 in the first 12 months, how big can our membership grow? And that, again, is what builds this really sustainable and resilient community. And then finally, of course, it's all about food waste prevention. And we think with all of these different tools that we're deploying, we'll be able to support our members to prevent an additional 20 million pounds of food waste in 2021. So that's what we're going to be up to in the next year. And we're just getting started. The best is yet to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Caroline and Turner, for sharing those updates and getting us off to a great start. Next, we will have our first set of member highlights for everyone to enjoy. Rochelle, we may have to play the volume.
Whoops, all right, let's start that over. Is that better?
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Anna Hammond. I'm a founding member of the Upcycled Food Association, and I'm the founder and CEO of Matriarch Foods. Matriarch Foods upcycles farm surplus and fresh cut remnants into healthy, affordable food products for food service, schools, hospitals, and food banks, places where communities are fed on a large scale every day. And the reason we are part of the Upcycled Food Association is because for a movement to be successful, you have to be organized. And we are organized as a group. So happy to celebrate the first year of the group and to welcome all new members. And we are gonna make this movement big and save a lot of food from going to waste in landfill and get some products out there on the market. Our grandmothers were thrifty, resourceful, and strong. They knew how to make a lot out of a little, make food tasty and delicious, and they lived by the motto, fix it, don't toss it. We started Matriarch Foods to stop food from being wasted and to honor the resiliency and common sense of our grandmothers. In the US, there's a well-known burger chain that throws out 15,000 pounds of onion slices every week because they don't look Instagram perfect. And on an even larger scale, 20 million tons of vegetables never leave the farm because they don't look pretty in the supermarket or they don't fit perfectly in a box. That's insane. Matriarch is partnering with these companies and farms to build a better food system. We transform these perfectly good vegetables into a vegetable broth concentrate for schools, hospitals, food banks, and places that feed people every day on a large scale. We are determined to solve the problem of food waste, one of the largest emitters of greenhouse gases, and to create a world that will thrive for future generations. Every pallet of our vegetable broth concentrate diverts 1,500 pounds of vegetables from landfill and makes 80,000 servings of vegetable broth. Chefs love our product because it's easy to use, a delicious pantry staple, and it helps them achieve their sustainability goals. And the people they feed it to love it because it's healthy and it tastes great. At Matriarch, we are on a mission to feed our communities and protect our environment with the moxie and inventiveness that would make our grandmothers proud.
Hi, I'm Betty, the founder of Confetti Fine Foods. We are on a mission to bring more colors into global snack aisles. Did you know that 2.9 trillion pounds, or 40% of fruits and vegetables, are thrown away every year simply because they're ugly? What if we could slice them up and craft them into the most amazing, nutrient-dense, and tasty snacks on the planet? Here at Confetti, our mission is to craft lovely chips out of ugly veggies to resolve a huge environmental problem. The global market size for savory snacks is projected at 188 billion in this year alone. In a study published by Mondelez, The State of Snacking, 70% of millennials prefer snacking to having a proper meal, and majority of Americans are eager to try world flavors. And that's where we come in. We bring amazing, brilliant snacks celebrating world flavors to the world. Our early traction has been really exciting. We have been awarded by the Singapore government a grant based on the commercial feasibility of this concept. We also won the first prize in the Feed 9 Billion initiative. We were also voted the best tasting snack in Superfood Asia. We are issued with solid POs by large supermarkets like the largest supermarket chain in Singapore, as well as Shell petrol stations, 5-star hotels, as well as niche gourmet markets. Our whole goal is to make veggies fun and yum for the world, and we celebrate world flavors. We make scrumptious veggies that are better for you and for the planet. By upcycling from ugly veggies, we craft from authentic wiring recipes which took us 18 months of R&D to perfect, so they deliver on a superior taste as well as crunch. We have amazing flavor variants inspired by Singapore. They are all vegan-friendly, gluten-free, plant-based, nutrient-dense, made from real veggies, and are high in fiber. So we have come up with amazing flavors which are exotic as well as adventurous. So they are teriyaki, summer truffle, sea salt, tandoori, green curry, and Balinese spice. We are extremely passionate in using business as a force for good. We upcycle from ugly veggies to craft into gourmet, nutrient-dense snacks. At the same time, a portion of our snacks goes to feeding the hungriest people in the world. We work with global organizations like Business for Good, One for a Better Planet, Upcycled Food Association. We are aligned with United Nations SDGs, as well as the Center for Responsible Future. The Singapore government and our VCs have been instrumental in helping us in terms of channel access, marketing, and PR efforts. So confetti is a celebration of plant-based colors and a celebration of real veggies. We want people to celebrate real vegetables, including the ugly ones. Our headquarters is now in Singapore, and we intend to open up subsidiaries in New York and London by next year. We are extremely honored and proud to be partners of Upcycled Food Association, and we truly feel like we can change the world together, and we are really excited to be part of your journey to recreating and reinventing the future of food. Thank you.
I'm Caitlin. I'm the founder of Pulp Pantry here in California. And at Pulp Pantry, we work with fruit and vegetable processors, starting with actually juice manufacturers, and take their vegetable byproduct and turn that into a line of our own snacks. So what we have here is pulp chips. We work with Suja Juice and some other juice brands and other vegetable processors to basically take their byproduct and turn it into a line of better for you chips. They're grain-free and they're made from kale and celery as the first ingredient. And they have 5 grams of fiber per serving, which makes them a full bag of chips for full day serving of fiber. I joined the UFA because I'm super passionate about the future of food and especially making our food system more healthy and sustainable for all. I think that upcycled food is a huge piece in building a better and more sustainable food system for all. We obviously have 40% of food that is going to waste. That is not okay. We need to figure out some solutions to really tackle that issue, and especially as it's linked to climate change. But at the same time, we have a lot of people who don't have access to a lot of the healthy foods that are byproducts of our food manufacturing. And so to me, upcycling is the perfect kind of bridge between those two issues. 1, getting more nutritious food to more people, and 2, making our food system more sustainable and feeding the next generation of people. By 2050, we have more than 9 billion people expected to be on planet Earth, and we have to figure out better ways to feed everyone. So I'm really proud to be a part of the Upcycled Food Association and to bridge connections to mentors, to peers, and to other people in the industry to really lift upcycling into the limelight. Truly, that's what it deserves. And I think it's a huge opportunity for more brands, more processors to get involved in, and especially to capitalize on the collective storytelling around upcycling that can really get sustainability to the forefront of consumers' minds as well. So thanks.
I hope everyone enjoyed our first set of member highlights. It's refreshing to see the progress being made in the upcycled food industry. Other companies have predicted that upcycled foods will be a major food trend, but when Whole Foods added upcycled foods to its list of top 10 food trends for 2021, it was a major step forward for our movement. And with that, I'm excited to introduce our keynote presenter, Chris Davila.
Hi, everyone. I want to say that I'm thrilled to be talking to you all today. Personally, I've been excited about upcycling since I first found out what it was. The idea of being able to take something that was going to be discarded and then creating a product for it is amazing. But I'm also astounded by how quickly it has grown. I remember going to food shows over the last few years and there only being a handful of companies doing upcycled products. And now I believe there are over 100 members of the Upcycling Food Association. I think that's a testament to the amount of great work that everyone here is doing and the awareness of food waste being such a problem. So with that being said, I'm very much honored to speak to everyone today and to talk to those who are on the front lines of, pushing this initiative forward. So today I wanted to kind of talk to you, give you a retailer perspective on upcycling, and additionally, give you an innovation viewpoint as well in terms of where I think there's going to be some work needed to even make upcycling even more successful. Some of that will be, in a viewpoint of working in a retailer setting, but also some of that will be from my experience of working in innovation development over the last 8 or 9 years. So as you're probably all aware, Whole Foods Market has included upcycling in our top trends list for next year. I'm assuming that's why I got the invite to talk to you guys all today. But before we dig into why we included upcycling on that list, I think it's important to understand a little bit about why we even create the list and how we create the list every year. So this is Whole Foods Market's 6th consecutive year announcing its annual trends predictions. At its core, the list represents what's new and what's next for the coming year, and what consumers should expect to see on the food scene. It's thoughtfully compiled by our Trends Council, which I'm honored to be a part of, which is made up of about 50 team members, including local foragers, regional and global buyers, and culinary experts based on decades of experience and expertise in sourcing and studying consumer preferences and having relationships with emerging and existing brands. We both use a data-driven approach, so think third-party, marketing, but as well as personal insight to what we see is going on in the food industry to create this list. I do want to say that I think our local foragers, who are those that are in each individual region, is key in finding next year's trends for us. They, I think trends bubble up, from the ground, and having people being able to look at local restaurants, local farmers markets for trends is, particularly beneficial to us. So, why do we do this? Well, keeping up with trends, is part of our job, and I think it's a passion for a lot of the team members. Personally, I love reading food publications. I will talk to anyone about what's going on and what's launching, what I think is on trend. I have I spend way too much money on cookbooks, as you can see behind me. That's pretty much what compiles my Amazon wish list every year. But I also think, we do this as well because our customers are trend spotters too. They're more adventurous eaters. Our consumer insights show us that, one of the top reasons people shop Whole Foods Market is to try something new. So, because our team members are always looking at the food industry, as well as our shoppers are just, so involved in looking at what's new, it helps us be able to share insights to see what, is going to come next year. So, why did we choose upcycling? Well, for starters, the Trends Council has been seeing a large number of products being used or launching recently, as I alluded to at the beginning. I mean, we're also seeing it not just in food and beverage, we're seeing in things like pet food or in cosmetics. And so it's just such a growing movement that, we clearly notice its importance. For example, we carry a good amount of upcycled products or plan on carrying. We have the Ugly Company's 100% kiwis or upcycled kiwis, apricots, and peaches. We're hoping to plan on launching Pulp Pantry's pulp chips, Banana's banana bites, Renewal Mills flour mix. We have some grain products, Spudsy's sweet potato puffs. So clearly we're showcasing a lot of upcycled products, but also we feel like we're going to see even more. I would say the other big reason that upcycling has been included is, we're seeing in general a growing awareness of food waste. People are becoming ever more cognizant of it. You clearly saw that during this pandemic, where, there was so many news stories about, so much waste because there was just not as much consumption from a food service standpoint. And so people are just noticing it more and more. And also people are becoming more educated on, different ways that they can help alleviate problem. We at Whole Foods have, a strong food waste strategy, to prevent and divert food from being wasted. We're trained as team members on food waste efficiency, from things like smart ordering or partnering with food donation companies to make sure there isn't waste. So, having those two things, the ever-growing popularity and launching of upcycled products, as well as, food waste being on the forefront of, or trying to, reduce food waste as much. We think, upcycling is extremely important, and, that is why we included it. So, I wanted to shift focus a little bit. We know upcycling is a trend, and, I think everyone in this, metaphorical room would agree that we want this trend to continue to grow. So this leads me to the other topic I kind of want to discuss with everyone today, and that's, what I think is going to be needed for upcycling to continue to be successful and be successful in retail. This is, again, based on experience working in innovation development as well. So I think there's two things that, are really important, for innovation, and one is messaging. So does the consumer understand what you're selling or what you're putting out there? And the other is execution, like the product's taste, its texture and aroma. Basically, I would say messaging gets the product off the shelf, gets the consumer to buy it, but the execution gets them to buy it again and again and again and again, and as many times as they can possibly, hopefully, buy it. So let's start with messaging. Clearly, the message of upcycling is an amazing one. Reduce food waste. But I think, looking at a lot of different research studies, the biggest challenge, I think, is just education. Consumers don't understand what upcycling is, or the term upcycling. I think, hopefully us putting it on our trends list and marketing that list will help alleviate some of that. But I think, that's a hurdle that I think is going to continually need to be addressed and to be looked at. And I think there's also some smaller things that are part of that. And that kind of, when you're talking about waste or byproduct, it starts to get the consumer's mindset into things like food safety and quality. They start asking questions like, is this food safe to eat? Or is the quality, subpar because you're using ingredients that didn't make the first cut, right? That they were going to be discarded. And so, I think there is some ways and creative ways to figure out how to message those things. I think a fine balance has to be struck in giving consumers enough education and making sure you're portraying the ingredients as being ones that are top quality. It's just that they weren't necessary for the products that in itself, the original product that was actually being created, or, that they're completely edible. They just could be, misformed or something like that. So I think some ways to get around that is putting detailed information on pack. I think it's, tying packaging into, let's say, websites with articles or the company's website with a lot of really good information. Clearly communicating that the ingredient itself is perfectly fine and it's delicious. And I think part of it is working, as you launch, working with your retail partners on doing in-store tastings and making sure customers are aware that this product is delicious and it's perfectly safe to eat. So this kind of ties me into the other point, and that's execution. I think execution sometimes is even more important than messaging. And that's where I see a lot of products fail, is they have the right idea. It's just that the product does not meet consumer expectation. And that could be that it's not as good as the other products in that category. It could just be it doesn't meet the expectation in terms of taste or texture. And so, when you're launching products, you really need to make sure that you're comparing those products, especially if it's in a category that's well set, like crackers or cookies or cereal. Are you just as good, if not better, than anything that's out in the marketplace? Are you delivering something that is, a customer is going to really, really enjoy? That's a good chunk of what we do in retail is we're comparing, what's already out there in the marketplace to, what you're delivering to us. And I think, like, if you don't deliver what we expect, or you don't deliver something that's, is better than, or just as equal to what's out there. It's tough for space to be given, and I think one way that I've always found is to help this is to have people taste the product other than yourselves, right? Is having your friends, if you can't pay to have consumers taste things and give you honest feedback and tell you that the product needs slight improvement, because you give it to a retailer like us, and if the product is subpar, we don't want to turn it down. This is such a great message, but it's good to make sure that it's delicious. I think that's why the plant-based food movement has been so successful. Plant-based foods have been around for so long, but with the science and technology and with brands like Beyond and Impossible, they were able to create something that was very good and delivered more than what the consumer was expecting. And I think that's the kind of mindset to really push upcycling over the edge. So, I think to summarize that, I think, being able to really combine the right educational messaging and for upcycled products, and then delivering an outstanding tasting product will really cast upcycling into a very successful future. So with that being said, I want to thank the Upcycled Food Association for inviting me to speak today. I hope you found all the programming today to be interesting and informative. I really look forward to continue seeing all of these companies are doing and all the amazing things to come. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you very much and look forward to seeing everything.
Thank you again, Chris. It's great that retailers like Whole Foods Market are places where you can not only buy our members' products, but they are creating their own in-house products as well. And so one of the things is that we know from a major retailer that up to 80% of consumers are interested in buying upcycled food, but only 10% know what upcycled food is. So when we work together, we can help to close that gap. And education is going to be a key piece to just growing this upcycled food industry. And so next we have some additional member highlights that we would like to share with you all.
Hi, my name is Hector Saldivar, and I'm the founder and CEO of Tia Lupita Foods. We are a better for you, healthy and authentic, Mexican-inspired food brand that uses clean, simple ingredients in all of our products. And we're proud to say that we're the first brand in the United States to use cactus as an alternative, functional, and sustainable ingredient on our lines of tortilla chips and tortillas. But what I'm really, really excited about is that we have partnered with our friends at Renewal Mills. We've been able to produce the most sustainable tortilla in the marketplace. This is our grain-free cactus tortilla. What's super cool about this is that we've been able to use okara flour, which is an upcycled by-waste product of soybean. By combining okara and our proprietary blend of cactus flours, and we're helping save the planet one taco at a time. It is really important for us to be a member of the Upcycled Food Association. The current state of the world right now is alarming and concerning. Global warming is real. Climate change is real. Crops are yielding less. And we need to find alternative, sustainable foods that can provide us with the essential nutrients that we need to live healthy lives. That's why I decided to introduce cactus to the marketplace. Upcycling will help reduce waste and help release this stressed and constrained food supply. So by finding other ingredients like okara that can help us substitute other mainstream flour, we are contributing to the health of this planet. It's Tia Lupita's commitment to continue to develop food products that contain upcycled ingredients. But we're already looking into reformulating some of our current products where we can plug out some of the flours that we currently using so that we can plug in Okara. And what really truly excites me is where we can take food in the future. Continue with innovation, continue with clean and simple ingredients. We will continue support sustainability. Please be on the lookout. You'll never know when you'll find you're eating tamales made with a blend of cactus and okara flour, or empanadas made with the same blend of sustainable and upcycled ingredients. So I'm looking forward to many, many years of partnership with the Upcycled Food Association and helping the world reduce our carbon footprint. Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm Kayla Abe.
I'm David Murphy, and we're the founders of Ugly Pickle Co. We're helping heal our food system by rescuing cosmetically irregular produce and farm surplus to make super snappy pickles and tasty condiments. This company is our vision for a radical alternative to our conventional food system, one that both tackles the 20 billion pounds of farm food waste and drives bottom line dollars to all members of our supply chain.
Ugly Pickle Co. is based in San Francisco, where we have direct access to some of the most incredible farms across California. It was in our conversations with farmer friends of ours while shopping the Ferry Plaza Farmers Market every Saturday that we first learned about how taxing food loss was to farmers' bottom line. The burden on farmers to laboriously grow, harvest, pack, and market their produce and then not have a sales outlet because of naturally occurring inconsistencies seemed too pressing for us to ignore.
About 20% of all food loss comes from the farm, from misshapen or discolored produce or overabundant harvests that lead to unexpected surplus. While farm food loss is widely inefficient, it is also one of the largest contributors to climate change. It consumes 21% of our water and releases 70 billion tons of greenhouse gases.
At a time when the UN states that we only have 7 years before we've done irreversible planetary damage, these are pretty scary prospects. So over the past 2 years in business, we've been busy getting users excited about addressing food waste. Whether through our sold out pop-ups featuring food waste items, or our YouTube series where we turn home food waste into sexy dishes, or just in our California colloquial brand, we're getting people stoked on this issue. We want people to be empowered to tackle food waste, and we're seeing that people are hungry for brands like ours. Climate change plagues so many of us, and with Ugly Pickle Co., we're able to give folks daily environmental action they look forward to when they eat our pickles and spreads. We're UFA members because we know that the solution to our food waste crisis can't be solved by our company alone. Collectively, we can begin drawing attention to what a sustainable food future must look like and magnify our environmental impact as we help people see their diets as tools of environmental activism.
We need to be taking severe and quick action to turn around our future on this planet. And with this community of bright brands, we're confident that we can. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Every year, millions of tons of food is lost at post-harvest and storage levels due to inability of farmers to immediately sell, properly process, and safely store their surplus produce. This leads to significant economic damages, especially for smallholder and medium-sized farmers who produce most food in the world. Food has developed low-cost and scalable drying technologies that can preserve all kinds of agricultural products economically and sustainably right at the source. Our target is to preserve the food and then to upcycle it into different value-added products that could eventually be used by the other actors in the food value chain. Let's say it could be supplied to the food industry, it could be to the retailers and also to the end consumers. In 2019, we conducted successful trials of our technology with farmers in Spain.
I hope you all enjoyed some of those additional member highlights. Next, I would like to introduce Kristen Kreveling, Director of Strategic Initiatives, and Patrick Hernandez, Propeller's Senior Capital Access Manager. Propeller is the first impact investment organization to join the Upcycled Food Association, and they will be sharing industry insights to provide thoughts and forecasts on the future of the upcycled food industry.
All righty. Hey, everybody. So thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Christine Kreveling, and I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives at Propeller. And I'm also going to be joined by my teammate, Patrick Hernandez, our Senior Capital Access Manager. We are so excited to be speaking on this panel today. And so I'm just going to give a little overview of Propeller, our work in food, some trends we're seeing in the upcycled food movement and in our region. And then later, Patrick can give a little information about our social impact fund, which centers around social and environmental impact. So again, we're really excited to be having this conversation. And from the social impact investor and entrepreneurial support perspective, this is a movement that we're following closely. We know other food investors are looking at it too. And for me personally, I'm a registered dietitian. I have a background in food access, and now I'm working in the world of business. So this topic is especially exciting to me. Advance the slides, please. Thank you. So Propeller, we're here in New Orleans. We're a nonprofit, and we grow and support entrepreneurs to tackle social and environmental disparities. So our vision is an inclusive and thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem in New Orleans that responds to community needs and creates the conditions for an equitable future. And our strategy is to build a critical mass of small businesses and nonprofits working to tackle disparities. And we work in a few different sectors. We're in community economic development, education, health, food, and water. And these are really just the areas that we've identified as having significant inequities, but also proven market opportunities for entrepreneurs to implement solutions. And so since 2011, Propeller has incubated and accelerated over 245 social ventures, which in turn have generated over $162 million in financing and revenue, while creating over 485 new and permanent jobs. Next slide, please. All right, so we're really excited about the upcycled food movement, and it's something we've actively started to invest in and organize around. We're seeing for our Business Accelerator program, which we run once a year, we're seeing at least 2 to 3 upcycled food concepts applying to the accelerator each round. And we've made some investments to date, and one of which was through our social venture fund, which Patrick is going to talk a little bit about. But one company, Boomy Cane Water, they went through our accelerator program. We made an investment in them through our accelerator program in the form of an equity investment. And then they went on to obtain a loan from our social venture fund. But they're doing some really exciting things in the upcycled food sector. They are actually taking the bagasse from their sugarcane processing and creating bottles from it. So they're working with a third-party manufacturer, and they've just launched their new bottles. And really, we're really excited. They've just expanded to 24 East Coast Whole Foods stores. They have a really great pull-through, really great customer response. And so that's just one example of kind of like the values, whether it be social or environmental, that Boomy's working on. They also have some really amazing procurement values. They're working with some of the last 2 black sugarcane farmers left in Louisiana. So just like a wonderful company to check out as you are thinking about just environmental sustainability and impact, as well as values-based procurement. We have some other companies. Bon Baby is a baby food company using upcycled produce, and Prosper Preserve Co., of course, making pickles and preserves. We have another company called Schmelly's Dirt Farm, and they collect compost from huge events, from many of our well-known restaurants, from most of our Propeller food alumni, and they are upcycling it into compost and soil for consumers to buy at nursery centers or to buy directly. So I estimate that we've invested over $75,000 in companies with upcycled food concepts, again, through our accelerator program, through that equity investment that I mentioned, through our social venture fund, our pitch competitions, and more recently, we are working with our economic development agencies just to support the upcycled food activities in our region. You know, within our seafood industry, specifically that's hurting right now due to climate change, due to, you know, losing out on restaurant sales due to the pandemic. We're in desperate need of innovation down here. We are very hospitality focused. And so we see a lot of opportunity within upcycled food to really bolster our local food economy and the resiliency within that. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Patrick.
Thanks, Christine, and so great to be with everyone here today. My name is Patrick Hernandez. I am the Senior Capital Access Manager at Propeller, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that social venture fund that Christine mentioned. So post-Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, and generally more in Southeast Louisiana as a whole, we saw an entrepreneurial renaissance that was about 50%, 56% above the national average. But the availability of traditional debt financing just didn't match that activity level. Furthermore, it was, there are racial disparities in lending. And so within SBA lending, 40% of BIPOC firms receive the full amount requested, while white firms receive 68% of the full amount requested. So that's where the Propeller Social Venture Fund comes in. We are a $1 million fund, and we create patient and affordable capital options for social entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of color to scale and foster their businesses more successfully. So for various reasons, whether it is lower credit scores or higher risk ratings, our ventures just aren't able to access the capital that they need through traditional financing. A great example of this, in addition to our investments in companies like Boomi that Christine mentioned, we do have other sectors that have really been able to contribute to that growth in New Orleans. We have an electrical contractor who had exhausted all of his options in traditional lending, and with the help of Propeller, he was able to secure financing that led him to winning a really significant contract at the New Orleans airport. So, we, at the onset of our fund, we did determine that the most significant need for-profits and nonprofits to be in the $20,000 to $100,000 investment range, and our average loan right now is averaging about $68,000. Next slide, please. So as Christine mentioned, we do invest in a number of sectors, but food represents nearly a third of our loan dollars originated out of the Propeller SVF so far. Those others that like she said, are water, healthcare, education, community economic development. But we are definitely really excited about the food sector and upcycled food specifically. So, as we look to the future and look to determine how we can continue to help our entrepreneurial ecosystem, we have to step back and ask ourselves, how are we going to help these emerging trends and ensure the success of these ventures in the future? So that includes looking at new innovative forms of investment, making sure that the speed of our process aligns with the needs of entrepreneurs, working with ventures to ensure that they are capital access ready when they need to be, and providing technical assistance and helping them to build lender and investor relations. Next slide, please. So here is the contact info for both Christine and me. If you have any questions about the work that we're doing at Propeller, please feel free to reach out to us. And again, thanks so much for having us here today.
Thank you again to the Propeller team. If you're joining us today and you're an investor, clearly the upcycled food industry is a great place to have an impact and to make a return on your investment. Next, we will have our final set of member highlights, which I hope you all have been enjoying, and those will be playing for you shortly.
Hi everyone, I'm Sheetal and I'm the co-founder of Reveal, an avocado seed brew. So we take avocado seeds and that would have gone away into the landfill, and we rescue them from different restaurants, and then we make an antioxidant-rich avocado seed brew that has 3 times the amount of antioxidants than green tea. And we're really excited to be part of the Upcycled Food Association. This community has given us so much from help, support, and a lot of friends. And I'm really excited to share with you what we do in the next clip.
Avocado seeds at the center of this beverage brainchild from 2 Drexel grads.
It tastes like a mix between a very, very light kombucha and like an iced tea.
Chital Bahirat and Zori Masood took their scientific backgrounds.
I studied my master's in culinary arts and science, and she did her master's in food science.
And planted the seed for their startup, Hidden Gems Beverage Company.
Finding value in a place where you thought that it may not have initially been.
Their goal is to reduce food waste.
Our idea is to be able to take the parts of food that are commonly thrown away and to find something really creative to do with them.
Their first target, avocado seeds. Too hard for composting, but rich in health benefits.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
The avocado seed base has 3 times the amount of antioxidants than green tea.
Their work has environmental benefits as well.
We're able to compost the avocado seeds at the end. So instead of them going into the trash can, we're able to become a part of the ecosystem again.
Giant Heirloom in University City has a sushi kiosk they collect seeds from.
We would like to be a part of this process. Useful community member.
And they go to restaurants like Sancho Pistoles.
We have guacamole on everything. We make everything fresh in-house. So there's tons of avocado seeds.
The bar here even makes a Reveal-based drink, the never-ending Zuri.
And we're going to finish it with ginger beer.
After cleaning, the seeds are ready for the extraction, flavoring, bottling process.
And then we add in some flavors. We add in some monk fruit. We add in some apple cider vinegar, all to help round out the flavor.
They have 3 flavored combos to start.
Grapefruit lavender, mango ginger, and rose mint.
You can buy the brew with Go Puff or at River Ward's Produce Market. And while you're at it, start thinking about your own hidden gems.
There's so many things that we're cooking every day, and then we have scraps left over that are perfectly usable.
Hey everyone, my name is Vanessa Murillo and I'm one of the co-founders of I Am Grounded, a better for you snack company utilising upcycled coffee fruit based in sunny Brisbane, Australia. Yes, you heard that right, coffee fruit. Yes, coffee is a fruit, and inside that fruit are the 2 seeds that are used to brew coffee, but the fruit and outer skin are waste products. They are byproducts of the agricultural farming of coffee, and in most cases are left to rot in large concrete piles, which, when it rains, leach into surrounding water systems and create mycotoxins which starve oxygen from surrounding aquatic life. Not only that, but around the world, the 25 million or so farmers that grow coffee are creating about 20 million tons of coffee fruit waste. And us ourselves as coffee drinkers, we drink about 3 billion cups of coffee a day, creating about 57 kilograms of coffee fruit waste a year. We decided to do something about that, and that's why we created I Am Grounded. Maybe farm coffee needs to be disrupted. We need to talk about byproducts, and we need to talk about how we can empower farmers to make an income around the coffee, not just the harvesting of the coffee seeds, because a lot of coffee farming and coffee farmers are in crisis and are giving up coffee to farm other products because they are more, they create more income for farmers. So the longevity of coffee is actually being questioned if we don't look at the sustainability of coffee. And also, coffee fruit is a superfruit. It's incredibly high in antioxidants and micronutrients, which aid in mood recovery and anti-inflammation. So it's a no-brainer to use coffee fruit in products. So back in 2018, after extensive months of researching and food science, we decided to launch I Am Grounded and rented a kitchen space in Brisbane, Australia to hand make our bars and go into market with those test products. Fast forward about 11 months of making the products, we grew to a healthy number of stockists and also online, and decided to look at a co-packer to scale our operations. So we launched a Kickstarter campaign in March of this year, and that's where we met the UFA, who have been really pioneering that change in upcycling. And we joined the UFA, as well as had some amazing members back our Kickstarter project, which helped us to fund the first production run of these beautiful bars here that we're very proud of. And they've now gone into market across Australia, online, internationally, and you can check them out on imgrounded.co. Why we're members of the UFA? Well, there is no association like the UFA tackling head-on food waste and what that means for consumers as well as the industry. It can be a lonely road. I mean, it can be lonely for companies like us to be disrupting or to be doing something different. So the UFA are providing that support, that much needed support that we need to really tackle all those issues head on. Not only that, the networking that the UFA provide and all the newsletters that they provide are such invaluable resources for us to really understand the grasp of what's happening in the industry and the trends going forward. So thank you to the UFA for connecting us. We're pioneering that change here in Australia as the first members of the UFA, and we hope that more Australian companies come on board as we start to look and utilise more upcycled foods in our backyards, as well as in products like snacks. So if you want to reach out to me, my email is vanessa@imgrounded.co, and as I said, check out our website at imgrounded.co. Thank you so much and have a great meeting.
With those presentations, that concludes today's event. I would like to thank everyone for joining us and want to remind people that we're just getting started with what we expect to be a major shift in how we work collaboratively to reduce food waste and grow the upcycled food industry. Your browser should automatically pull up a survey following this, so please fill it out. And we will also be following up with everyone with a copy of the recording of today's event and some additional info. We hope you enjoyed your time with us today and look forward to sharing more exciting just progress with you in the time ahead. Enjoy the rest of your day.